Are you looking to increase your salary? Here's how I doubled my salary in 3 months and how you can too. This is back from 10 years ago, but these tips are just as applicable today. I was at my job and it wasn't a great fit anymore. I wasn't growing in my career and my salary, which was $53,000 at the time, wasn't cutting it anymore with the high cost of living in California. I was living frugally for more than 2.5 years and barely saving anything. I wasn't feeling good about it. I knew I needed a change. So I went to my manager and requested a raise. He said it's going to take a while. That's the first tactic you can use to increase your salary, is to ask for a raise or a promotion. I just did a podcast on this, which I'll link in the description below. The second tactic is to start applying for other jobs. Usually, it's a great idea to switch your jobs every 2 to 3 years to get a significant bump in your salary. I actually did a podcast on this as well, where a senior recruiting leader gave us inside tips on how to land your dream job. I'll link that in the description below as well. Very shortly after I started applying, I got an interview. It was with Riot Games. While I was interviewing, I also got another interview. This one was with Zynga, which is another game company. The Riot interviews finished first. These were some of the hardest interviews that I had ever been through, but I thought they went well. I was very hopeful. While I was interviewing with Zynga, I got my Riot offer, but it was $57,000, which was only $4,000 more than what I was currently making. I knew I loved that Riot job, but at this time, I needed to make more than $57,000 to change my cost of living situation. What happens when the salary is not what you are expecting? Know that you don't have to accept or decline right away. Instead, you can ask for more time, and that's what I did. I said, thank you so much for this offer. Can I have a little bit more time to think about it? I needed to hear back from Zynga. Plus, I needed to do my research. Actually, you should do your research beforehand because most companies will ask you your salary expectations during the first interview. So do your market research and figure out what the rate is for your job, for your industry, for your level, and for your experience. If you're using online resources, be mindful of the sites that you use. Some of these may not have accurate information. Maybe you can ask a mentor or a few mentors on what the salary range is for that position. Thankfully, recently a new law was passed that in some states, companies need to disclose that salary range in the job description itself. So what did I do for my research? I looked at a reputable game development site and saw that the range for my position was $65,000 to $85,000 for someone with my level of experience. Once I saw that $65,000 to $85,000 range, the first thing I had to do was get to yes with myself. That is, to really believe that I deserved that raise. The imposter syndrome always kicks in. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I don't deserve this. This is why I created a video to capture all the tips that I've learned to help beat your imposter syndrome. I'll link that in the description below. I also did my own expenses, factored in the cost of living and the cost of inflation. Honestly, it didn't really make sense for me to switch jobs for $4,000. It would mean building brand new relationships and rebuilding a reputation at a new workplace. In the book Drive, Daniel Pink talks about motivation, and he says you want to make enough money so money is off your mind and you can focus on the job itself. With all that in mind, I came up with the range that would be acceptable to me. And for me, that was $75,000 to $85,000. So I went back to Riot and asked if they can come within that range. Unfortunately, the hiring manager said that that was above their budget. So with a heavy heart, I had to decline the Riot offer. This was a very hard decision, but I knew this was the best decision for me based on my calculations. There's another lesson in here, is what is your BATNA? Well, what is BATNA? From the book Getting to Yes, a BATNA is your best alternative to a negotiated agreement. In this case, my best alternative was to stick with my current job because there just wasn't enough of a bump to affect my cost of living. And hopefully, the Zynga offer would be better. But in this moment, I felt like I was back at square one. Then thankfully, the Zynga offer came through, and it was $80,000 plus $5,000 sign-on bonus plus $5,000 relocation bonus. This changed everything. I was very excited about Zynga and very grateful for the offer. But in the back of my mind, I was still thinking about Riot. The deadline to respond to Zynga was quickly approaching, and then I got a call that would change my life for the next 10 years and beyond. It was a call from a Riot executive, and he asked me what was my number. Remember how I said having a competing job offer is the best leverage you can have? And if I didn't say it yet, I'm saying it now. Because this time, instead of giving my original range of $75,000 to $85,000, I told them what the competing offer was, including their sign-on bonus. And then I asked if Riot could match it. He said that the budget for this role is limited, but because I had aced my interviews, he was willing to offer money from his budget to help fund this role and bring me on board onto this company. he said no relocation is needed, so he would give me $85,000 plus the $5,000 sign-on bonus, and if I was meeting or exceeding performance expectations 6 months into the job, they would bump me with another $10,000 increase. In addition, I was able to ask for more stock options, and thankfully he obliged. Suddenly, I went from making $53,000 at my current job to making $100,000 a year at my new job, plus equity, effectively doubling my salary in less than 3 months. I was extremely grateful to that Riot executive and to Riot for giving me the offer and for giving me the opportunity to work for them. But was the job worth it? Stick around till the end to find out. I want to give you more ideas on what you can request in case the budget is tight, which is the case in the current economy. But before that, if you're finding value in this video so far, please smash that like button. It'll really help the channel out. Hiring managers may have other levers that they can pull here. I was a hiring manager, so this is an insider tip. We talked about sign-on bonus, we talked about relocation bonus, we talked about stock options. What else can you ask here? Some companies have a probation period before they match your 401k. For example, a company may wait 1 year before they match your 401k, and maybe you can request them to shorten that probation period. Another thing you can ask for is more vacation days. There's no harm in asking. Worst case scenario, they'll say no. Best case scenario, you may get what you're asking for, or they may suggest alternate ideas. But again, the best leverage that you can have is a competing job offer. By the way, my original job did give me a raise, but unfortunately, it was $57,000. So I'm glad that I had applied to other jobs while waiting. If you want more ideas on how to increase your salary, please subscribe to my channel. I post new content weekly. I also cover how to deal with tough situations at work, how to find more joy at your current work, or help you find a new job. And if you'd like more customized one-on-one support, you can book a call with me. Check out the link in the description below. And yes, the Riot job was everything that I'd hoped for and more. Like every job, it had its ups and downs, but overall, I learned a lot. I grew to the senior manager level. I had a team of 55 plus people with a budget of more than $50 million, and we helped deliver some awesome games to our players. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Neeraj Mathrani. Take care.